we can find, and this is the first one I read. Jack Daniels used to be a very classy whiskey. Frank Sinatra drank it.
That tells the tale right there.
I mean, that guy was Mr. Smooth. So Jack Daniels is bourbon?
Tennessee whiskey.
It's Tennessee whiskey. It has to be from Kentucky to be bourbon.
Okay, because I would drink Jack Daniels before for sure. You know, when I was like younger, a teenager, or whatever, and I was like, yeah, I just thought it was cool for whatever reason. I don't even know why, but yeah, that's not bourbon. Okay.
Well, this guy said because the packaging is cool. I mean, I found one of the things the bourbon guys have decided is if the bottle looks cool, it's nerdy to buy it. Like you shouldn't buy it because bottles that look cool mean that the whiskey's not good. So they'll be goofing on each other in their forums about buying good looking bottles.
They're supposed to be like really bad and like the bottle's supposed to like look like shit or what? Or just like not be really nondescript. It's supposed to be really nondescript.
It does. It's supposed to just look like, I think it's just supposed to look like the bottles that they've had since the 70s or whatever. Like you can't change it. But he goes, but this guy's, now people say it's not. What is the modern day equivalent of Jack Daniels? And the guy's like, Jack Daniels Old Number 7 is the modern day equivalent of Jack Daniels Old Number 7. And then he goes like this. Jack is the same as it ever was, stating that Jack was very classy because Sinatra drank it as not being very nice to the whiskey. Sinatra was a no-shit, full-blown alcoholic. He was one of those guys who unscrews the cap from the whiskey bottle and throws it away because he knows he'll never need it again. Okay. The dude drank a full bottle of Jack Daniels and smoked 2 packs of unfiltered Camels every single day. The reason Sinatra drank Jack is because comedian Jackie Gleason recommended it as a good place to start. When he decided to start drinking whiskey, he liked it and stuck with it. He only stopped drinking and smoking at times when he was preparing to record an album. The rest of the time, he even smoked and drank while performing live. What has happened is people have discovered better whiskeys than Jack. Jack is what I referred to as cooking whiskey. It's not a bad $20 tipple, especially at mixed drinks, but there are nicer whiskeys if you plan to sip it neat. So that guy just said Frank Sinatra is full of shit, which I really like because I also feel the same way.
And I think he's right I think he's documented as being a bit of a lush. And so I think that sort of tracks, that but I also think he probably drank other bourbon and stuff as well, I would guess.
Oh, yeah.
I would guess he drank all kinds of stuff.
Let me give you Chris O'Leary answering a question. He says, should I try bourbon if I like scotch? Seems like a step down.
Ooh.
Wow. Shot across the bow.
Okay. I don't know if we needed that,
It's rude.
No need to divide it. It's like a bit of a divide and conquer or something like that. Okay, let's hear what he has to say.
Oh, for fuck's sake. That's like asking if you should try fried chicken because it seems like a step down from rotisserie, which I don't know. I go the other way around on that. Like rotisserie is basically the worst kind of chicken.
What?
I mean, rotisserie is worse.
What are you talking about?
Fried chicken is better than rotisserie chicken. You get good fried chicken. Rotisserie chicken is grocery store chicken, Chris.
Yeah, but it's good. The reason that it's in the grocery store is because the masses have agreed that it's a wonderful way to consume chicken. I mean, I love a grocery store
Chris
chicken.
Making notes about his accommodations for Bryan's visit. No grocery store chicken.
Yeah, right. I will say though that I live with my partner Ariel now, and she makes really, really good chicken, not rotisserie chicken, and I much prefer it to the. But yeah, I mean, fried chicken is delicious, not so good for you though, Bryan.
I know. That's why I'm so unhealthy. And he goes, of course you should try bourbon if you like scotch. And no, bourbon is not a step down from scotch. Jim Beam is a step down from the Balvenie. Just as J&B is a step down from Blanton single barrel bourbon. Scotch is a way of making whiskey. Bourbon is a way of making whiskey. People make absolute shit versions of both. People make amazing versions of both. So I kind of like that. But then this next question is, what is your opinion of bourbon? David, I want to give you this. David Heath answers, hideous stuff. It's like drinking the water that has been soaked in 2-week-old grass clippings.
Oh.
So that was our question.
Harsh.
Now, could I, and just Tom, I'm going to go real far back here, but you talking about the Meller, is that the other one? What was the other one? What was the Van Winkle? What was the second type of bourbon? There was Van Winkle, and then there was the lesser one. The one that
Maker's
was
Mark.
No, just the one that if it
was
was
Weller, yeah.
Weller, sorry. So what if Weller was aged 25 years and Van Winkle is aged 25 years? It's literally the same stuff.
Mm-hmm. The same stuff. It's just different. However long it stays in the barrel, the flavor profile.
Yeah,
changes.
But if they both had the same, okay,
right. But like you say, if they both stay in the barrel the same amount of time, they are in essence the same whiskey.
But they would cost different.
Well, I think it's a hypothetical because there isn't a 25-year Weller. There's a 12-year Weller. There's some older Wellers. Antique Weller is another one. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I guess if they did, it would be the same. Yeah,
I got you. Okay, sorry, I was just thinking about that. But Tom, you had something that I think you wanted to say before I.
Well, the thing is that so I've bartended for a while, and I'm also a bourbon guy emeritus. And the thing that all bourbon guys know is that like all bourbons are like, if you like bourbon, all of them are pretty good. You know what I mean? I prepared for this show by razzing people on Twitter and saying this because the sort of Twitter prompt du jour was, what's your alcohol take? That was like, whatever, cancel or whatever. And I said that more or less all bourbons are like, there's not a huge gulf in quality. So when these guys are over here talking about like, there's some absolutely shit bourbons, like, dude, I know I shouldn't say I know him, but I know of the master distiller for Old Forester. He passed away a few years ago, and the man swore by Very Old Barton, which is like a very bottom shelf, like $9 bottle of bourbon. You know what I mean? Like that's what he drank off the job. So it's like, if it's good enough for that guy who really is one of like 5 guys in the world that can tell, like huge differences between these whiskeys, it's good enough for your like hobby ass.
So these guys are all a bunch of fucking bullshit. Like these guys are just fucking bullshitting themselves. They're lying to themselves and trying to like convince themselves that they're okay, this is funnier to me now. Let's read some more of these fucking reviews.